Profile share via email report story. I am not gay. I am not gay. It was a joke, guys. Come on, I am not gay. Third paw. Ever since the pinky promise, Ochako and Izuku went back to being best friends. Mina was sad because she didn't get the chance to help them get back to being friends. But, since they aren't back to dating yet, she has a chance at helping them with that. But, at the moment, she's just gonna let them be them, since everything was back to normal and not chaos. She's just gonna take all the calmness in for now. Izuku was back to being his kind, cheery self, and Ochako was not as distant and quiet anymore. Life was beautiful right now. Sure, Izuku still gets bullied, but he's not letting it get to his head. Katsuki glares at Ochako from afar, but she's not letting it scare her. Even though Bakugo glaring at her from afar means that he's almost done with figuring out what he's gonna do to her. It does make her nervous. But feel no fear, for Izuku's here. The last bell of the day rang and everyone packed up and started their way back to the dorms. Izuku walked over to Ochako's desk with a smile on his face. Hey, he happily greeted. She smiled and waved at him. Iida smiled at Midoriya. Great to see you back on your feet, Midoriya. Iida said. Uraraka finished packing. Alright, you guys ready to go? She asked. They both nodded and started walking out of the classroom. They walked and talked. It was the happiest Izuku has felt in a while. Once they made it back to the dorms, Iida ran off to go study for the test they had next week. That left Izuku and Ochako alone in the common room. Why is it that every time we're both in the common room, we're always alone? Ochako half-jokingly asked. Izuku shrugged. I don't mind it though, Izuku said. I'm gonna go back to my room and get changed. I'll see you later. Let's play nerds when I get back, Midoriya said, waving as he walked back to his room. Alright, I'll go get changed too, Ochako said, also walking back to her room. Izuku got back to his room and shut the door. He uncontrollably smiled as he got the clothes he wanted to get changed into. But as he was in the middle of putting on his shirt, he froze. Midoriya started to wonder why she left him to the first place, why they needed to get back together. Even though they're not dating, it sure feels like they are. In Izuku's mind, they're dating. But, why did they split apart? They could have just broke up and became just friends like they are right now. But, they completely stopped talking to each other. Midoriya violently shook his head, trying to stop thinking about it. He doesn't want to think about that right now, he just wants to happily be by his side. He finished getting dressed and walked out of his room. When he got down to the common room, Ochako was already there in comfortable clothes. How long was he just standing there in his room? Hey, did you bring your own pair of cards? Ochako asked, showing her cards. Midoriya facepalmed himself. Ah, I forgot, he said, disappointed in himself. Uraraka chuckled. I thought you would have forgot, so I brought an extra pair. She said, holding up another pair of cards. Midoriya smiled. You know me so well, he said, chuckling. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, Uraraka said, laughing a little. The two sat across from each other at the common room table and began shuffling their cards. Once they were done, they began laying out their cards. 4 laid out in front of them, and a stack of 13 beside the 4 laid out. They held the rest of the cards in their hands, ready to play. Ready? Ochako asked. Midoriya nodded. Go, and the game began. Their eyes drifted from the cards they're sliding out and the cards laid out in the middle of the table. Promoted stories. You'll also like New Love, Izutoga, 66.1K 932. Read this description, you will need it. Promise me this is my first fanfic. Warning, there is mature content in here. This story is featuring R. Izuku getting C. Wedding bells. 133K 2.6K. 5 years after graduation, Deku and Uraraka are finally getting married. All their friends and relatives are excited and ready to help them to make it the happiest day. Mr. Cold-Hearted President, 33.6K 1K. Ochako lives in a horrible neighborhood, but that changes when her parents got a promotion and pay raise, which caused her family to move. She gets transferred to UA High. Playboy Hollow right pointing triangle Bakudaku. 245K 7.7K, but that isn't going to stop me from taking back what was rightfully mine from the fucking beginning. Izuku and Uraraka are best friends, nothing could ever tear the stay with me tilde and Iswocha. 68.4K 1.1K and quad. Please don't do this, I need you. Please, stay with me and quad. Izuku and Ochako are close friends who both like each other. They become closer and closer, then trade. My boyfriend Toki. Todoroki X Fem. Deku. 102K 1.8K. Uncompleted never will be God, I hate this. Izuku and Todoroki have always been friends, from the time they were youngins to when Bakugo boldly confessed to Izuku aft. Teacher's pet Tododeku. 11K482. Izuku Midoriya hides his depression and anxiety and acts like he's happy. But in reality that's all an act. He's the oddball in his high school. He only has two and quad, fry. Nerds. Ochako yelled, throwing the cards in her hands in the air. She has accomplished getting rid of her 13 stack. Midoriya slapped his cards onto the table. I don't even know why I challenge you to any card game. You always win, Midoriya said, crossing his arms. Uraraka giggled. I'll go easy on you next time, she said, gathering the cards from the middle of the table and handing Midoriya back the cards he used. Like that'll change anything, Izuku said, taking his cards and shuffling them. Ochako giggled. Once all the cards were shuffled, they played another round of nerds. Uraraka ended up winning all of the games except one, where Midoriya cheated. Uraraka laughed as she won the last game. Unfair, Midoriya yelled as he threw his cards onto the table. Ochako stood up and went to go sit on the couch. Dang, my back hurts from sitting on the floor for so long, Uraraka said, sitting on the couch. Midoriya followed her. Yeah, hey, wanna watch TV? He asked, grabbing the TV remote. Ochako nodded. Sure, she said, getting comfortable on the couch. Midoriya turned on the TV and flipped through the channels. Just tell me if you find something you want to watch. Izuku continued to surf through the channels. After about 3 minutes of not finding anything they want to watch on TV, they got bored. Wanna watch a movie instead? Ochako asked, getting up to see what they have for a movie choice. Sure, let's see what we have, Izuku said, following Ochako. They went over to a shelf in the TV stand and looked through the DVDs. There wasn't much, only 3 movies to choose from. An action movie, a romance movie, and a comedy. The action movie seems pretty cool, it even has Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in it. Midoriya said with a smile. Izuku, yes but no, that's Vin Diesel, Uraraka said, almost disappointed. Oh. Well, let's watch it, Izuku said. They put the DVD in the DVD player and went back to the couch. An hour into the movie, Izuku stopped paying attention. Instead, his mind decided to wander off into what he was thinking about before he left his room. Why did they completely drift apart? Midoriya thought about asking Ochako that question, but decided against it and let her enjoy the movie. You're not paying attention either. Never mind, she's not even watching it either. Nah, my mind decided to wander away from the movie and into its own thoughts. Izuku said, glancing over at Ochako. Yeah, same. What were you thinking about? Uraraka asked, tilting her head a little. Well, Midoriya couldn't form his question into words. He was terrified of ruining things between them. He clenched his fists. Well, when we broke up, why did we stop talking to each other? Why did we stop being friends? Midoriya said the last part more confidently. Uraraka looked at him with surprise written all over her face. She softened her gaze and looked at the ground. She sighed. The movie continued to play in the background, but the two didn't hear it. She trailed off, not being able to find the right words. Ochako didn't want to blame the whole thing on her parents, even though they are at fault for all of this, part of it was because of them too. My parents didn't want me to hang around you anymore. Uraraka looked at the ground, not being able to look at Izuku. Nobody wanted Sayori to hang around, but did she anyway? Yes, I'm sorry. Izuku looked over at her. I didn't want to disappoint them, so I listened to them. I broke up with you and stopped hanging out with you because it was what my parents told me to do. Tears threatened to fall from Ochako's eyes. She was positive that Midoriya would hate her for this. Izuku looked at the ground, taking in everything he was just told. For some reason, his brain wasn't accepting the fact that Ochako's parents were the reason they stopped hanging out. It wanted a more cruel reason. It wants to be told that he's a crybaby, that he's a loser, that she doesn't want to be friends with a loser like him. Izuku accepted the fact that it was because of Ochako's parents. He knew she was telling the truth. He quickly shook his head and looked back over at the sad Uraraka. Izuku put his arm around Ochako in attempt at comforting her. She leaned on him. It's okay, I believe you. He said, rubbing her shoulder. Uraraka looked at him. Why you do? You're not mad, she asked. I'm not mad, Izuku said, smiling at her. Well, I'm a little mad at your parents. Izuku looked off to the side. Uraraka smiled and got up off of him. It's okay, they'll change their minds one day. Uraraka said. Midoriya's smile slowly turned into a frown as silence overcame them. Well, speaking of our relationship, do you still like me? Midoriya asked, his mouth shifting. Uraraka took a second to think about what Midoriya just asked. I do, Uraraka answered, shifting in her seat. Izuku glanced over at the blushing brunette next to him. He quickly looked away. Well, since we're talking again, you must be rebelling against your parents. That must have not been the best thing to say right now. Well, do you wanna be my girlfriend again? Midoriya quickly got to the point. Uraraka's eyes widened, ignoring what Midoriya said about rebelling against her parents. Yeah, she wants to get back with him, it's just, she never thought she would. She trailed off, leaving Izuku sweating buckets. I'm sorry, didn't mean to. Izuku said, quickly getting up to go run to his room. No, wait, Izuku. Ochako also quickly got up and grabbed his hand. Izuku looked behind him to look at Ochako. I didn't mean I don't want to be your girlfriend again, you just caught me off guard. Yes, I want to be your girlfriend again. Uraraka said, smiling. Izuku grinned and hugged her. She hugged back. Hopefully, her parents would change their minds one day, and let the two love each other. dash 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 dot. The bell rang, signaling school is in session. Even though the bell rang, Aizawa wasn't in the classroom. He has always been like that. So, the kids just keep on chatting until Aizawa opens the door. Okay, girls, turns out, the boys stole our idea and decided to host a night of their own. Mina said, dejectedly. Oh no, does this mean that the girls' night is cancelled? Toru almost yelled in shock. No, it just means we should be ashamed that we're dating people who can't even get ideas of their own. Mina said, happily. Oh, Toru said. Wait, who's dating them? We're all single here, aren't we? Toru asked, confused. Ochako and Jiro began sweating a little. Mina looked over at the two. Oh, I think we know which ones of us are not single anymore. Mina said, smug grinning. Spill it, Toru yelled at the two. Jiro went first. Me and Kaminari kinda, just, got together yesterday. Jiro said, quickly putting her earbuds in to avoid any more questions. Mina and Toru squealed, loudly. What about you, Ochako? Mina asked, practically begging for juicy details on hers and Midoriya's relationship. Well, same as Jiro's story, me and Izuku decided to get together yesterday. Uraraka said, blushing. Mina and Toru squealed, loudly, again. This time, it caught some of the boys' attention. The boys quickly lost interest in what the girls were talking about though. Anyway, we can continue this conversation at the girls' night tonight. You wanna know something else, though? The boys are having their boys' night tonight as well. Ugh, talk about being creative. Mina complained. Uraraka calmed her blush. Where is the girls' night going to be? Uraraka asked. Mina shrugged. Well, we can just sleep over at someone's house. Mina said, hoping it would be hers. In that case, I wonder what Ochako's house looks like. Sue said, putting a finger on her chin. Ochako started to panic a little. Why can't we just sleep in one of our dorms or the common room then? Uraraka asked. Nah, we need to get out of the dorms. The dorms can be the boys for the night. Mina explained. The girls nodded. Can we trust them with that? Ochako asked. With some the boys not being perverts and holding the perverts back, and Iida, then yes, we can trust them. Momo answered. Okay. Ochako trailed off. She was just about to say something when the door opened. Aizawa has arrived. The day went by rather slowly. The final bell of the day rang and the girls quickly grouped up. They all started talking, until a green-haired boy walked up to the group. Hey, Ochako, I'm guessing you're walking with them. Midoriya pointed at the girls. Uraraka looked at Midoriya. Oh, yeah, you can walk with us back to the dorms. Ochako said, finishing packing. Midoriya looked at Iida nervously. You can walk with the girls, I'm going to go walk with Iida. Midoriya said, nervously retreating back to Iida. The girls giggled. Is he always that nervous? Jiro asked, smiling while raising a brow. Ochako giggled a little. Yeah, she answered. Okay, let's go. The girls started walking towards the dorms. Once they made it back to the dorms and got changed, the girls met up in the common room. So, we're going to Ochako's house, right? Sue asked. Mina nodded. Yep, after we go to this sweet new cafe. Mina began walking out of the dorms, calling for the girls to follow. The walk to the cafe was uneventful. Just a pack of girls quietly walking to a cafe. Then Ochako remembered something. Wait, can we stay at someone else's house? Uraraka asked. The girls looked at Uraraka with confused faces. Why? Mina asked, raising a brow. Uraraka sweated nervously, not knowing if she should tell them. Well, it's complicated, Uraraka said, averting her eyes. The girls raised a brow in confusion. Uraraka was terrified that her friends would blow hers and Izuku's cover. It's okay, Ochako, you can tell us, Mina said, putting a hand on Ochako's shoulder. Okay, well, if we're staying over at my house, I better tell you. But first, let's get some drinks, then we can talk about it. Uraraka said, walking into the cafe. Ochako held the door open for her friends. They ordered their drinks and sat at a table, waiting for the drinks to finish being made. The girls all sat in awkward silence. Uraraka fiddled with her thumbs. Ochako looked away from her thumbs and up at her friends. Okay, I guess I can tell you guys right now. Dot 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 dot. Hi, I've decided to end this chapter right there because I kinda want to continue this in the next chapter. Anyway, see ya weird kid. Where stories live. Discover now.